I'm sitting here and I'm saying I'm Sarah Hannah, CEO of Slipstop, which is profound and off the chart. And it's such a privilege to tell my story. I can't tell you. Would you believe the way I got here was a dare? It was a dare from a friend. I was on a career path in retail with Marks & Spencer's, great company. Wasn't for me. And she just said for fun, I dare you to go for this job. It was a job not I would have thought about, a business world. And you know, when I walked through that door in 1988, it just felt right. It was this beautiful family. I had the interview and I remember going home and saying to my friend, I loved it. I really, really hope I get it, but I don't think I'm qualified. And I got a call, very quick actually, and I got it. It was a baker family. And it was, the director was a guy, and I learned a lot from him. And it became just a joy. It was never a job. Can you imagine that? I was in my 20s and it was never a job. I don't really know why, but Slipstop seemed to be this cool thing. Everybody wanted to be part of it. And I literally grew up in there because, you know, I was barely out my teens, sitting all nervous, not knowing a thing. For some reason, the director took me under his wing. And maybe it was always going to be my destiny to be here, but I never would have imagined 36 years later I was sitting here and I'm the CEO. That's hard to take in. And having said that, you can imagine there's a lot of stories, a lot.
What is Slipstop to you?
Slipstop to me is, I used to say, because I need to split it somehow, it's my everything. I think in the beginning it was too much of my life, you know. Loved it. More than a career, just, it's a joy. It sounds a cliche or a corny statement to say, I don't know, but I've been able to help people. I've been able to see the world, but to me, it's a very special company. It's a very unique niche. You're in business, of course. When I started, it was very raw. You know, you'd go out and you'd meet people in shopping centres, you'd meet people in schools, and they'd be blown away that the floors were really slippery and unsafe, but they were scared and they didn't know there was a solution. So Slipstop to me in that time was it's a bit too good to be true. It's a bit magic, you know. So from my days in 1988, it was amazing to be there. But after about 2 years, it was very apparent that the guy who owned it wasn't fully invested because he had other businesses. He had fingers in lots of pies. He was an amazing guy. I'm really grateful to have known him. I learned a lot from him. And he was such an entrepreneur. It was my first taste of that. And I think it gave me such a strong foundation. Not knowing it at the time, I just thought that was normal. As the years passed, I think it was in the early 90s, it was almost like the writing was on the wall. We had a call and it was incredible. A Norwegian man, he'd seen Slipstop at an exhibition in Germany and he was so impressed with it and he was moving to Luxembourg. And he called. And because my then superior was so busy, I took the call and I fell in love with his voice. And that's another story, but yeah, it was like a boom. And over the year, 12 months, we used to talk about it and dream about what we would do if it was ours, which is bizarre. I never met him. Norwegian guy in Luxembourg, young woman in Leicester head office in the Midlands, middle of England. And a year on, we met. He came to visit the head office. So we went out for a dinner with the boss, which was cool because he knew I'd developed this relationship. He wanted to be an agent. Yeah, long story short, he became the agent and then they decided to sell. We took it on. We were so impressed we bought the company. And it wasn't without its problems, you know. We had a vision. We wanted to expand it around the world. And that's when I started to learn how special it was, this family dynamic that had been instilled in me. Terrier, he was this big Norwegian guy that comes along. He had this same ethic. He cared. And you'd go out and you would look at floors with people. It was more than just a business. It was more than just, we're selling a product for this. Maybe extremely wrong, to the extreme. It was our baby. My initial few years with the company, when I first started, made it very apparent to me how limited the treatments were in the beginning. It was incredible, but we were doing rough things like quarry tile kitchens, and we did shopping centres, but we had a lot of need for these marble floors, granite floors, beautiful floors. Architects were specifying stunning floors that were not safe. Terry and I made it our mission. We were like, okay, we're doing great, business is amazing, we're expanding, but let's get together with chemists. And he was a chemist. So we went to the Norwegian chemists and the British, and we worked together to finely tune and create new products. And it was a rebirth, because then we could go back to all these people with these beautiful floors and make them safe, but keep the look. So Terry and I's passion for Slipstop and how we used to talk and we put together plans and we would dream about it. When we took it on, then we knew we were a formidable team. It was, I don't know whether you call that luck, but his strengths were my weaknesses and my weaknesses were his strengths. It was quite incredible, and we just grew. It was rapid, and at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, England was in trouble. The recession was biting. Companies were going out of business left, right and centre, and we just expanded throughout Europe. It was just amazing. I even went to Australia and New Zealand, and he was on the telly. We sold on a TV channel, shopping channel in Tel Aviv. The stories are beautiful. Hong Kong, Singapore, boom, boom, boom. This little girl from Leicester never travelled. I used to dream of travelling, but I didn't want to give up Slipstop. It was, how can you do the both? Well, we could. So it went, and it was definitely our baby. We ended up together. We got married. I think it was always on the card. It took a long time. We were very business focused, and I couldn't believe he would like me, and he didn't know. Another story, but yeah, we got together and we just loved it. I think he wore only a Slipstop top ever, and sadly he died, but we had a beautiful son together who grew up in this Slipstop world. Maybe he resented it a bit too, bless him, but yeah, he grew up and he was proud of what we achieved, and he grew up watching these crazy mum and dad probably, because we got such a buzz out of seeing Slipstop in a different language, and friends would call and say, oh, I saw a Slipstop van, I was in Spain or in Turkey, and yeah, it was a different era, and then he got cancer in 2016, which was of course knocked us sideways, and I think there was like an earthquake or a rumble between all the partners. And I'd always had this support role. And that's why I said to sit here as CEO, it's quite mind-blowing for me personally, because I loved it. And he was the front man. There he was with cancer, and it didn't make any sense. I recall my son actually saying, he didn't mean it in a bad way, but it was, we were walking out the hospital. On that first day we had to leave him there, he said it would make more sense, Mum, if you were there, because he was the giant, he was the rock, he was the Mr. Slipstop, and we didn't believe it that he would die. We just thought we'll tweak things and it will all be good, but he did. In 2018, emotional funeral, because you could see how much he was loved, and you got back that loving family. I got that image in 1988 when I started, and I was so proud, so thrilled that we'd maintained that family, because all these people came to the funeral from Australia and Greece and all over the globe to celebrate this man. But of course, what do? Can I do this without him? Everyone was freaking out. And I didn't realise, I think I did my support role really well, and I loved it. But I was kind of invisible, as nobody even knew the franchisers didn't know I worked in a company, which was quite profound because I was working in the UK market where I started originally, but also the cruise business took off massively. I had a thought to try it, and we thought it would be the icing on the cake, and it just went boom. They couldn't get enough of us because their floors move as well as being slippery, you know. I think this is one of those stories as well where if it's the destiny, it's the destiny. Because I'm telling you, I tried to shut it down, give it away, because I was just so traumatized naturally. My rock, my partner, my whole adult life, man, had gone. And our son was only 18. So here I am. We had adversities, we had traumas and trials and you name it. Could write a book on that alone. Something changed, it mattered. I hadn't lost my passion, I hadn't lost my enthusiasm. So with all that went wrong and you know, if you've got fear-driven people who were like, what's going to happen with the company? It's natural, it's not anything personal, it's what we do in life, what we're going to do, and are you even capable? I'm not saying anything about me being a woman, but this guy, he was 1.90 m and Norwegian Viking, you know, so I'm opposite to that. So we thought, let's look at our side of the street. Shall we rebrand? We rebranded. The company was Slipstop, Your Partner in Safety, which was wonderful. It was my husband's, he was the marketing guy. But I came to realise I have creativity in me. So we rebranded. And the tagline is walking with confidence. And I employed Todor, this awesome guy from Bulgaria. It's like he fell out the sky. And it was a risk because I didn't think we could justify the cost of having a marketing director. Like, that was my husband's role. So it was challenging both personally, like emotionally, but that's not right. And he comes along and we seem to click. It was another beautiful, formidable team. And we bounced off one another, and he nudged and not coerced, but needed to get me into this 2020s, you know. We were a bit in the 90s, in our image, in our logos, I don't really know why. I think we just got so busy. We did. I learned new systems, and now I really feel I'm sitting here 6 years on, and it's been tough, but we're in a new season and we're in the joy. I had that passion still burning, and I had a lot of vision and creativity before, and I was like, hang on a minute, maybe I can put my stamp on it. So we changed the logo. There was parts of the logo I never liked, and we changed it, and we put the logo in the word Slipstop. Walking with confidence, because walking with confidence is what we all need. You go out there and people walk with confidence when you're treated a floor, but we're walking with confidence. Rebranded, changed all the systems, everything, which was a pull, but we did it. And I had the best team. We started to evolve, and people just kept coming in. And my team is younger, which is needed. We need everything, wisdom, knowledge. I have that, but it's exciting. We're in new times. I'm so excited. Everybody in the company is going to enjoy it all, and the business is flooding in, and people are loving it. People are loving the difference, because we're not just a vendor. One of the clients said it. Wow, he said, we don't want any vendor. We want a relationship. We want to enter into something. And we've got this safety program. We've got it all. And it just shows, if you look back 1988 to 2024, the destination is the journey. And maybe it's coming time for me to pass that baton on.